So I thought I'd do a quick little video just talking through one of these things and having a look at a typical recording. I actually remember this race. This was a Friday evening, very casual race out of Portnick. The actual sailing club's over here somewhere, and we have a start line that we've just crossed. It kind of comes sort of like that somewhere. So a reaching start, all very professional, I'm sure. And so yeah, let's have a look at the boat from windward. There we go, that's just about it. And yeah, speed ourselves up a little bit. In fact, let's speed ourselves up a lot. And you can see we started out with just like a reach along the shore. Well, not really along the shore, across the bay, more like. These little burps here are likely actually yachts passing to windward of us. It was quite a full race one way or another. But here we're approaching the mark. You have to stay the other side of this mark. It's like a local rule thing. And besides, this headland here, Point Jerningham, casts a really impressively big wind shadow. Anyway, so I do at least remember this race reasonably well. We came around the corner ugly as, and then managed to get some fresh air, crawled underneath whoever was above us, and trundled off on the beat, as it were. You can see here a couple of little burps. This was like a nasty rounding, and all this stuff was just coming up to the mark in the middle of some traffic. Somebody better than us would have been able to not get caught in the traffic, but you know, we did, because that's how that goes. Now, if I recall, somewhere down this leg, there's a better one here. Yeah, here we go. So this is a really typical sailing with us floor. Let's zoom in on it and we'll have a little look. Okay, so this is only at double speed. You can see the boat's happily zooming along on the groove. We're getting like 1 knots over the water, and then you can see it heads up, and we pop out the groove, and I think he stuck the tiller the wrong way, and heaps of boat speed comes out, and the boat pops up right, and then you can see we bear off, and we get the boat speed back up to where it should be again. I'll just stop that there, so you can see this there's donk here in the line, and this is one of the inspirations behind sea sailing. I thought that if we could see what it was that we had done wrong and how badly we'd been stung for it. Okay, I think there was a wind shift there as well, but that perhaps we would be able to get better at doing this and what have you. So yeah, I mean, there may have been more of that coming up to the mark. No, I think we just gently trundle up to the mark. The wind picks up slightly. Yeah, the wind picks up slightly. And we get to the mark and stick a tack in our own good time. Let's see how the tack goes. So the boat's come up right before the tack, and we've put it over. And yeah, it looks like a relatively clean tack, that one. Let's just have a look. This graph here, this is always interesting. Well, it is if you're me anyway. You see, coming into attack, obviously the speed over ground dips before we build it again, coming out the other side. We were also shockers. You can see we came into this tack slowly and came out a bit more quickly, so I suspect there was some kind of worrying and flittering around going on the boat. Anyway, and VMG actually goes up as you go into attack, obviously, because you sort of dive into it a little bit. So yeah, a traditional upwind leg. There's a little bit of a, don't know what that's all about there. The wind goes from 12 knots down to about 10, but we don't seem to slow down any, so maybe we were a tad overpowered. Through another tack. Yeah, this was a horrible tack. So you can see that we've come out of this tack. We've come out really, really like slow and upright, and it's taken us ages to get the boat speed back on again. Yeah, and the boat's really upright, and eventually the skipper's just decided to chuck another one in. Yeah, and we've come out of this second tack. You can see the second tack is much less disgraceful, and we've got 6 knots on fairly quickly, which is about what you can expect to get out of this particular boat. It's a young 88 upwind, 6 odd 6-1, 6-2, not bad at all. See what the next tack looks like. Yeah, not great. Took us a while. 5-9-6. So that's like 12-03-18. So that's a good minute it's taken us to recover from that tack. We're better now, I promise. Yeah. So coming down here, don't get too close to the shore. It's a southerly, so it's coming straight up the bay this way. But we're not getting too close to the shoreline. Another not great tack. You can see though the boat's come onto its heel and dug in. The wind has actually lifted slightly, but we've borne off. Oh yeah, burp. Looks like another boat passing. Yeah, so we bear off here and get some speed up to come into this next tack. Yeah, there's actually been a little bit of a shadow before the shoreline, so I'm sure that's encouraged us to stick it over there. Wind's dropping. Yeah, the wind drops over here, causes another tack to happen. Yeah, much better tack. We're back up to 6-1 fairly quickly. And out of here. Now this is weird because the wind shifted right up the end. There's an airport up here. See, it was just awful and ugly and upright and slow. And then we get this honking big wind shift, so we can head up into it a bit just before the mark and pick some speed up. So we get back to about like six-ish knots by the top mark. Come around the corner, slow down hugely, put the kite up. Yeah. Now this was interesting. At this point here, let's find it. A much larger yacht goes behind us. So you can see if you look at the, this is actually the burgee on top. You can see the burgee. That's the recorded apparent wind direction. And you can see the software is having an interesting time finding what the actual wind direction is. Quite a lot of filtering on that particular piece of data. Yeah. So we come out the other side and everything gets a bit more civilized. And yeah, we just sort of like pile down this run basically. Again, a little puffy. You can see it gets less, sort of gets less puffy as we get away from the other boats. Maybe not. There's quite a few zebra stripes going through there. Again, we don't seem to slow down all that much, so that's a pretty good sign. And then we get over here, and you can see that we're going way by the lead, like really, really close. So we'd finally decide to jibe, get it over and done with. And yeah, that's much healthier. We pick up a bit of boat speed. You can see here the first shadows, of the first kind of lumps of the shadows of Jerningham Point coming in. But a nice run down to the mark, then blip. Yeah, horribly slow into the corner. This beach here also gets quite warm and generates like a counter current, I guess. But we only have to reach to the line at this point, so it's a question of getting the boat alive again. There you go, 6.2. Yeah, and then just doing 6 and a bit knots up to the line, dead easy. So yeah, that was just a quick afternoon sail. Oh yeah, that's the. Can you see that? That comes from the beach. The beach does that. You have to stay way clear. Look at that. Burp. Stay way clear of the beach. Not quite sure why we headed up, and the finish line is roughly there. So yeah, that probably helped. All right, I'll do another one next time we have an interesting race.